In the early years of the United States, independence was celebrated as a final victory. Britain had left, a new nation had been born, and many believed the struggle was finally over. But far from the cities and celebrations, deep in the forests of the Ohio Valley, another reality existed. For Native American nations, independence changed nothing. Their lands were still being taken, and their future remained uncertain. As American settlers moved westward, they believed resistance would fade with time. What they did not expect was unity, tribes standing together, preparing to defend what they had always called home. Led by a calm and strategic leader known as Chief Little Turtle, this resistance would soon change history. In 1791, a young and confident United States Army would suffer a defeat so shocking that it would echo across the nation. After the American Revolution, the British Empire officially withdrew from its former colonies, leaving behind a young and uncertain United States. The war had ended on paper, but peace did not reach the western frontier. Beyond the Appalachian Mountains lay vast lands inhabited for generations by Native American nations, Miami, Shawnee, Delaware, and others, who had not surrendered their homes simply because Britain had lost. To them, this was not a new nation's territory, but ancestral land protected by tradition, memory, and survival. As American settlers began crossing into the Ohio Valley, tension quietly grew, setting the stage for a conflict that history would later try to forget. The new United States was eager to expand westward, believing land ownership was the reward of independence. Treaties were signed in distant cities, often without the consent of native leaders who lived on the land itself. These agreements promised peace, but settlers continued to arrive, cutting forests, building cabins, and fencing fields. For native communities, every new settlement felt like a broken promise. Elders warned that survival required unity, not scattered resistance. Slowly, the idea of a confederacy, many tribes standing together, began to take shape. Among the Miami people rose a leader known to Americans as Chief Little Turtle. Intelligent, strategic, and deeply aware of both native and American warfare methods, Little Turtle was not driven by rage but by responsibility. He understood that the U.S. Army was inexperienced yet persistent. Rather than attacking blindly, he emphasized planning, patience, and unity. His leadership would soon shape the most significant native military victory against the United States in its early history. The Northwest Confederacy was not a single nation, but a powerful alliance. Tribes that once fought each other now shared intelligence, supplies, and strategy. Meetings were held deep in forests, guarded and secret. Warriors trained together, learning how to fight as one force. This unity frightened American officials, who underestimated native political organization. What the US saw as scattered tribes was becoming a coordinated resistance. The early US Army was small, poorly trained, and stretched thin. Many soldiers were recent immigrants or farmers with little combat experience. Supplies were scarce, morale low, and leadership inconsistent. Yet orders were clear: secure the frontier. American commanders believed numbers and determination would be enough. They did not understand the land, nor the enemy who knew every river, trail, and forest shadow. Small battles erupted along the frontier. Patrols vanished. Supply lines were ambushed. Native warriors struck quickly and disappeared into the trees. These were not random attacks, but deliberate warnings. Each clash tested American resolve and strengthened native confidence. The forest itself became a weapon, favoring those who moved silently and struck with precision. In 1791, President George Washington ordered General Arthur St. Clair to lead a decisive campaign into native territory. St. Clair's army marched slowly, burdened by illness, poor supplies, and harsh weather. Despite warnings, discipline remained weak. Chief Little Turtle watched carefully, recognizing an opportunity history rarely offers. On the eve of battle, native warriors prepared silently. There were no grand speeches, only understanding. They fought not for conquest, but survival. Elders prayed, warriors sharpened weapons, and scouts confirmed American positions. The forest was quiet, holding its breath. On November 4, 1791, the attack came swiftly. Native forces surrounded St. Clair's camp with devastating precision. Confusion erupted among American ranks. Orders were lost in gunfire. The U.S. Army, unprepared for such coordination, began to collapse under relentless pressure. Within hours, over 600 American soldiers lay dead. It was the worst defeat the United States Army would ever suffer against native forces. Survivors fled in panic. Chief Little Turtle's strategy had worked perfectly. The victory shocked the nation and forced Americans to confront the reality of their vulnerability. News of the defeat reached eastern cities like a thunderclap. President Washington reportedly fell silent in anger and disbelief. Newspapers questioned military leadership. For the first time, the United States realized expansion would not be easy or bloodless. For a brief moment, native nations held the advantage. Settler expansion slowed. Confidence spread through the Confederacy. Yet leaders like Little Turtle knew victory did not guarantee survival. America would return, stronger, better prepared. Within years, the U.S. Army reorganized under new leadership, learning from defeat. Larger forces, stronger discipline, and relentless pressure would eventually shift the balance. The victory of 1791 remained unmatched, but the future grew uncertain. Chief Little Turtle later advocated peace, understanding the cost of endless war. His leadership proved native nations could unite and win through intelligence and cooperation. Though history often minimized his achievements, his legacy endures as a symbol of resistance and strategic brilliance. The battle led by Chief Little Turtle marked a turning point in American history. It reshaped military strategy and native resistance alike. Though the United States would continue its expansion, this moment stands as proof that the nation's path was neither simple nor uncontested. It was a new era for America and for those who fought to protect what was already theirs. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel. Here we explore calm and thoughtful history, one forgotten moment at a time. Thank you for watching.